And welcome back to Oshawa Generals Hockey here on OntarioSportsRadio.com. In the second intermission, the Gens lead the Bulls by a score of 4-3. At the end of the period, Brendan Gaunce took a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for kneeing Brian Hughes, and an absolutely deserved call. I'm now joined by the general manager of the Oshawa Generals. I talked to Jeff earlier in the year, but he was gracious enough to join us in the second period. So, Jeff, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here, V. Thank you.
Well, this start, it can't be anything that you guys could have possibly envisioned at 15-4-0-1, is it?
Well, this is my 32nd year in the league, so I learned always to expect the unexpected. I've had teams in the past in Peterborough where we thought we were a championship team and we didn't accomplish what we thought we could, and we've had teams where we thought we were going to struggle to make the playoffs and, ended up in the league finals. So it's junior hockey and anything's possible, but, our team is very well coached, as you know, and they're a really good group of kids that are committed, and when you have that combination, I guess anything's possible. So we're certainly happy so far, and credit to our coaches. They've done a great job.
What can you say about DJ Smith and the staff, though, that, he mixed the lines up after it got a little bit stale with a little bit of maybe a top-heavy look, and now you're getting goals from Aiden Wallace and Jacob Bush, and just how much does it mean to have DJ on this staff and accomplishing what he has been in these 2 years with the Gens?
Well, he's a great coach. He's, as a observer in this league, and I've coached in this league for 6 years as an assistant, so I understand coaching. I don't pretend to be a coach, but I do know a good coach when I see one, and DJ's very good. He's committed. He coaches for the right reasons. As you know, he's passionate. He studies the game. He cares about the kids. He's a loyal guy. He's a guy I have complete trust in. We work well together. We spend a lot of time together on the ice, off the ice. We share a lot of laughs, and we share a lot of ideas. We exchange ideas, and it's just a really good relationship, and one that I'm, very fortunate to be part of. And him and the staff, the coaching staff in general, are great to work with. And one guy doesn't get a lot of credit, but Zach Burke's done a great job with our goaltending too. He's always in the background. Nobody ever sees him, but he comes in here. He works with the kids, and I guess that ages me a bit because I had him as a player in Peterborough. So it's a long-winded answer, but the coaching is very good, and certainly it's headed by DJ, and they deserve the bulk of the credit as well as the players for our success.
And they've cultivated quite the atmosphere in the dressing room. Now you get to see it on the road trips and stuff. There's a very strong sense of team within this. And is that something that DJ was emphasizing in the year, that when you come into this play as a team, and is that why they are the way they are together? Well,
we don't accept anything less. And, when DJ and I first met, I've known him for a long time, but when we first interviewed, I could tell that the philosophies were very similar. Defensive hockey is crucial, which he teaches very well. Team toughness is very important, which we have, and a team first commitment is crucial. So I sense that from him right from the start, and it's something that I believe very strongly in, and that's what makes especially our relationship go. We have the exact same philosophies on how the team should be run, and his technical knowledge and ability to develop players, complemented obviously by Paul and Roger, is very good.
What can you say about all the rookies in the lineup? You go over the list. You've got Coronin, you have Wallace, you've got Bush, and, to a lesser extent, even the McDades of the team. Stephen DeRoche is another one. What can you say about those rookies that have stepped in and played an admirable amount of minutes, especially a guy like Stephen DeRoche, who had to really earn his ice time as he's gone along?
Well, you have to earn it for sure, but, and even a guy like Mitchell Van de Sample was a big part of our power play there until he got hurt, so we need Mitchell back, obviously, to give us a bit more depth on our blue line, but the rookies have been good, and I think they've learned from the older guys. Our dressing room, the tone is set by Josh Brown, Scott Lawton, and the older guys, and the younger guys know the expectations, and they've adhered to them, and because of that, they've been accepted right in with the older guys. The older guys look out for them. They're very good to them, but again, that's a credit to the young guys, because if they come in with an attitude of arrogance or entitlement, that'll be broken pretty quickly. But we've got really good older guys here, and I think they've taught the younger guys, and to the younger guys' credit, they've come in with a very good attitude.
Do you think you could label Scott Lawton maybe the MVP of the team so far? Because since he has come back, the Generals, we've been keeping track of it. You guys are 13-0 with when he scores a point, and 0-2-1 without him in his return after the first 4 games of the year.
Well, there's no question. Scott, he's a world-class player, and when you get somebody like him back, it certainly makes us all look better. Scott, as I say, he's a world-class player. He's taken charge. He's come back with a great attitude, which a lot of them don't when they get disappointed like he did. But long-term, he's going to be a very good player for the Philadelphia Flyers, and I think this has been a great opportunity for him to learn some leadership. And, he always kind of deferred to Boone Jenner in the past. I think they lived together, and he learned well from him. And this is a chance for Scott to work with Josh Brown as our leadership core, and he's quietly given us good leadership. What he brings on the ice is obvious, but what he brings off the ice to us is very good. He's a mature guy. He knows how to conduct himself off the ice, on the ice, and he set a great example for the younger guys. So the impact of Scott coming back certainly is immediate, but I think it'll be long-term too on a guy like Sam Harding and Mitchell Van de Sample that see how he conducts himself. It helps us, as I said, short-term and long-term.
Maybe even Michael Dalcol as well, because I've noticed one thing, that Scott Laughton carries himself. He stands out above a lot of the other guys in the league. Josh Brown, also another guy like that. And I see that same kind of swagger in Michael Dalcol as well, that, I am the guy. Do you guys notice that as well in MDC?
Well, I think that, good players have confidence. They're not cocky, or they're inwardly cocky, I guess, or arrogant, but not outwardly. And I think Michael has that in him. He knows he's a good player, and that's important to be a good player, and I think Scott has that too, and it's all how you harness it and how you portray it, but I think inwardly they know they're good, and Michael, I think, watches Scott very closely and, plays with him a lot, and so certainly we hope, when Scott's gone, Michael can kind of carry on some of the lessons if he's back here. Season he's having, who knows, he might be next year's Sean Monahan, who knows, but if he is back, or even if he isn't, Scott's had a real, I think, good impact on him.
Speaking of the Philadelphia Flyers, you mentioned them when talking about Laughton. Obviously, you're still in contact with Chris Pronger, who you had in Peterborough. Has he mentioned how tough it's been to sit out that long and then be forced into retirement by that injury? And for you, seeing him, has it been tough to see that that's how the career kind of ended up?
Yeah, very difficult. I was a long time in Peterborough, and of all the players we had there, Chris is probably the one that I've always been the closest to, and we've always stayed in touch, and I know how much passion he has for the game, and when a guy like that can't play, it's hard on him. He loved to play. When he was in junior with us and I was coaching, he was the first guy on the ice every day. He was the last guy off. He was passionate. He would sit with me on the bus and talk hockey, and so I know it's very hard on him not playing, but I also know he's embracing the new opportunities. He's doing some pro scouting for the Flyers, and he's getting a good feel for the NHL and the depths of other teams. I think it's just a matter of time. Chris is a general manager and waiting at the next level. He's a brilliant guy. He's an intense competitor, and it is sad to see the way his career has ended. But at the same time, I'm really proud of all he accomplished, because he accomplished so much. He's a Hall of Famer in waiting, and I know the next stage of his life he's going to be very successful as well.
You said you've been around for 32 years, and obviously you've seen some of the Hall of Fame class play at a young age. What was Brendan Shanahan like as a player playing for London back in the 80s before he gets drafted in 87?
Well, he's just like he ended up in the NHL. He was a hard-nosed, competitive player that was a good player, and I remember, coming into Peterborough when he was in London, we had some really strong teams, and I remember him even as a young player playing hard and had a lot of pushback to us. We had an older, tough team, and he didn't take a back seat. I remember, a fight he had right in front of our bench with a player we had by the name of Rob Murray, who's set the all-time penalty minute record in the American League, coaching in the East Coast League now. But Rob was a really tough guy, and I remember Brendan Shanahan, wouldn't take a step back and fought, toe-to-toe with him. So, he was not a player that we ever questioned would be a good NHL player. He was a good junior, and great combination of size, skill, of character, toughness. Everything he showed in the NHL, he showed at an early age in junior.
We know most of the hockey side about you, but you mentioned to me one day that you're a bit of an audiophile. So do you play an instrument at all that maybe people don't know? Or?
No, I have a daughter, one of my youngest daughters, very musical. In fact, spent a fair bit of time even performing in some of the smaller bars in Peterborough. She's in England right now, but I don't play anything, and God help if anybody ever heard me sing, but I am a passionate music fan. I love the history of music. I love going to concerts, so music is something that I really enjoy, and have a fair bit of knowledge about. I'm certainly not an expert. I wish I could play something, but never got the opportunity, and certainly can't sing.
All right, I'll tell you what. Next time we talk, we'll do a Name That Tune and try and test your knowledge of music.
As long as it's not modern, if it's classic rock, I can probably nail it, but if it's modern techno music, no hope.
Yeah, no, we won't do that to you. Even I don't listen to that. Well, listen, Jeff, best of luck for the rest of the year. We'll talk to you for sure again to see how it goes, but so far so good, and we wish the team continued success for the rest of the season.
Great, thanks for having me, V.
All right, thanks a lot. That is the general manager of the Oshawa Generals, Jeff Twohey. We'll be back after this commercial break. You are listening to Oshawa Generals Hockey here on OntarioSportsRadio.com.